Hey everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. So I promised you another look with using the blue side of the palette from Melt, the Electrip palette, and this is what we're going to do. This is the look I came up with. It's not my best. I much prefer the first look that I did. However, with that said, I didn't have any issues, okay? And I quite find that I am just at awe because me and Mel don't get along. Why I buy the palettes, I don't even know. Okay, but this is the first palette that I actually kind of get along with, like personally. Like all the palettes that I have purchased, I haven't had an issue with formula. Some people have had an issue with formulas from the past, but the ones that I have purchased, I haven't. What I've had an issue with is that I'm not comfortable with the palette. And this one, I've not had an issue. Now, is this my favorite look? No, it's not. But is it wearable for me? Yeah. Yeah, I can wear it. I have no issue with it. But let's get started so I can show you what I did. And maybe it's because of the color story. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they have lighter shades. I don't know. Because that could be it. It could be because it isn't as deep and as grungy as usual. I don't know. I'm going to have to really look at the other palettes, to be honest, and take another look at them. But I think that that is what it is. The fact that there are lighter shades, even though there are darker, grungier shades. And I think that I can do the deep and grungy as long as there's at least one. Just give me one lighter shade, you know? Because I'm just not that person, you know what I mean? And I get every cosmetic company isn't going to be made for, me. And I know that I like the lighter shades and like not as grungy type looks because it's just not who I am. But I do like to experiment at the same time, So I would like a palette to have those, but yet as options, but yet not the entire thing, And I do have those, but I also like Melt's formula when it's, that I've purchased that is good. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and get started. So the first shade we're going to go to is actually Bang, which I know it's not, but it works really well with the blue side, to be honest. So I'm going to use that as my crease shade. And it really does work well, to be honest, with the blue. I know you wouldn't think so, but it really does, and it surprised me. So we're going to start with that shade. And it is kind of late, so I've been wearing this makeup for a little while with one eye done and one eye not. I won't lie, but it's held up pretty good. It has. I really meant to do this so much earlier, but I just couldn't sit down. And I really was going to skip today and doing a look. I'm not going to lie there. But I said I would do it, so I want to do it. Because I want you to know what you're getting if you do decide to purchase this palette. And if you're anything, like me, who likes the lighter shades, but, more bubbly, like, I don't know. I'm not really a bubbly personality type, but I'm definitely more of a subtle in a way. But I do like this palette, I'm not going to lie. It intrigues me. And that is interesting in itself. So now we're going to go into, I don't know the name of this color right here. Pseudo, Pseudo, maybe? Is that how you say it? Pseudo? I don't know. But we're going to go in with this color now. It's a blue. And I would suggest going very lightly because it is a, pigmented shade. And that's the other thing. I don't think it's as dark. I mean, I think it could definitely be built up darker, don't get me wrong. But I just don't think the shade is as grungy as I thought it was going to be either. I didn't have any, okay. So I didn't have any trouble out of it as in like the shade, but I had trouble out of it as in it's a scary shade for me. I won't lie. Just because of the shade itself though. not because of the formula. But I think it performed very well. It blended easy. So, I mean, I had no problem. And you could definitely build it up. And I will in a minute, but I'm going to take it very slow because, you know, not my shade. We're going to go back into Bang. And I'm going to run it under my lower lash line. But I won't lie, this palette just, I don't know, I like it. And I'm kind of curious on how that, like, strawberry field shade, that red shade, would combine with that pseudo shade, maybe is the name of it, I don't know. How those two would look together. I'm curious on that one, too. I would have to say this palette, though, for sure, is a beginner-friendly palette. I'm going to take that pseudo shade and run it right along the top lash line, or bottom lash line, I mean. And it is set up nicely for a beginner. Like, if you just didn't know what to do, they have it set up nicely. Again, I'm being very careful because I know this shade is pigmented. Going back into Bang. Okay. What did I even drop? I know I dropped something. Oh. The mascara I was going to use. Alright. Now we're going to build that up here. Now that I got that lash line done, we're going to build this color up. Very slowly, though. I'm tapping it in slowly. I mean, I must have did this 1,000 times, to be honest. Well, not 1,000, but a good bit. Because I was so scared that it was going to get out of hand. In my opinion, you know, where I'm comfortable with wearing it, I mean. I'm sure some people can dip right in and just go to town. But me, I'm a beginner, and I don't exactly know what I'm doing. But I do know that it's much better to go with a very soft hand, light touch, than it is to go in with a heavy hand if you don't know what you're doing. Alright, let's stop there maybe. Yeah, let's stop there for a second and let's go into Galactic Love. This is a pretty color here too. Let me put those brushes down. Alright. Let's go into Galactic Love here. This shade right here. I'm not going to spray it, and we're going to put it on the outer portion of this lid. That is a really pretty color though. So this would take it pretty dark if you wanted it to. Okay. Now, let's go into Blue Heaven. And I'll be honest, this is a very pretty color. Very pretty. Like, it's probably one of my favorites. I mean, it is a beautiful blue. Completely beautiful. And the name of it is almost perfect for the color. And we're just going to put that on the inner portion of the lid. Like that. Look at that. Oh, gosh. That looks like Blue Heaven. I mean, is that not beautiful, you all? Just that color. I mean, I hope you can see what I'm seeing, because that is beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay. Now, let's go into the shade Saturn and put it on the inner corner. And again, because of that shade, this palette is an all-in-one. And I think also because of the shade, no matter what look you did, this would be a good inner corner, color story wise. Because even with the blue, it looks nice. It almost looks like maybe a sun, in a way, coming into the blue and out of the heavens. Maybe, you think? Maybe not. And then yeah, there we go. All right. And then I did pull out this Deep End by Urban Decay. I lined my waterline with it up and bottom. And this is all I did for the look, to be honest with you. Now, I think I got it pretty. I think I got it the same. I don't think I need to get this any darker. I think both sides are pretty good. But look how well this side has held up. And like I said, well, you're watching me do this side now, obviously. Duh. Going back into Bang. But like, the shimmer and shine, like, yeah, this one may be a touch more metallic because I just, did it. But the other side held up pretty good. And it's probably been 5 hours, maybe. I know, I've been walking around like this for 5 hours. It's crazy. What can I say? I mean, I didn't go anywhere. Although if I had to, I would have. But it is what it is there, too. But, yeah. It's probably been 5 hours. And, I think that's holding up pretty darn good, if you ask me. Just my opinion. Okay, for the top lashes, I'm going to use the Tint Adore by Lancome. Why? I don't know. I just seen it, grabbed it, used it. Seemed good to me. Watch me make a mess with the mascara now. Has been a long day. I don't mind this mascara. Again, it's not one of my favorites, but I don't mind it. It's not the worst. I'm basically just using it up. And again, like all mascaras, some days I think it looks really good. Other days, I'm just like, what happened? And I'm starting to think it may be that it's not the mascara's fault, but it could be my fault, it could be my lashes' fault. Because if it's the mascara's fault, how is it one day they look great, and the next day they don't. Now, I can understand if there's like months in between or weeks or something, because, you know, the formula can dry up, something like that. But no, one day, yesterday, it can look fine. Today, it doesn't. It's like, that has to be user error. Has to be. Or it could be lash error. Like, my lashes just don't want to cooperate. But it cannot be the mascara's fault, I don't think. Could be, though, I suppose. Okay. And then for the bottom, of course, I'm using the Lancome Def and Seals. But all in all, I really do like this look. You'll have to ignore the rest of my makeup. I'm having issues with my face for some reason. My face is not liking me. My skin is like, no. And it's giving me a whole bunch of pimples for some reason. Could be that it's Easter. Well, it's not Easter now. Easter's over. But it was Easter. And, you know, I may have ate a whole bunch of stuff. So this is the final look. But I messed up. Hold on. Let me fix this. I don't know. I think that I like this palette. I definitely don't think this is I don't think this is a brand for everybody. I don't. And here's why. From what I see, their brand is hit and miss with their color stories. However, the palettes that I do have, I think, work very well. So I will say that. So any videos that you see that I've done with the melt, the colors or the formula is fine in them. It just may be the color story isn't mine, or I chose the wrong colors to use even. So that would be on me again. But I think that this particular one, I have to say, I think this is their best palette. I do. You got light to dark. You got grungy to bright. I mean, you kind of got every aspect that you would want. You know what I mean? And I can see summer to fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter. Like, I kind of see everything all in one in this one little palette that has what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 shades. And you usually don't see that, to be honest. So I do like that. And I kind of like to see them do more of this, where you do have the light to dark, but spring to summer, fall to winter, but yet just a different color story. You know what I mean? I'd like to try that. Now, generally, like I said, their palettes are usually more grungy or more deep, more dark colors. And that's fine if that's your wheelhouse. That's not my wheelhouse. I'm scared to death of that wheelhouse. So that's that. I personally like this palette. I think if you're a beginner, that you'll be able to understand it. I think that you will be able to use it. And I don't think you're going to have any issues with it. However, if this is not your color story, skip it. For real, skip it. Because I can't tell you how many of these palettes I knew were not my color story. I knew they weren't. But I had to buy them. And now I don't use them. So, and considering the price per palette, it's like, wow, that's a mortgage payment that I've wasted. Other than the Beetlejuice, just because of the packaging alone, worth it. Not really, but to me, worth it. I love Beetlejuice, but seriously though, it's a mortgage payment. It really is. It's your rent payment for real. If you purchased, I mean, I don't have many of their palettes by no means because I know better. But out of them, there's probably one that I actually would use and the rest I wouldn't. So do keep that in mind. However, if it is your color story, go for it. You're not going to have any problems. I think it's cute. I think it's summery. I think it's wintry. I think it's fall. I think it's spring. I think it's all of that in one. I think it's dark to light. I like it. I keep repeating myself. So this is the final look using the darker side. Again, not my favorite look, but I am comfortable wearing it. So I do like that about it. And that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I'm sure I did though. And if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all that you're notified when I upload. I upload every day but Sunday, unless a new palette does come in, and then I'll upload it. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.